Well, good morning, Team Effort Network family. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this wonderful Talk to People Tuesday, or as I may have heard another leader say it, take it to the next level Tuesday. Let this Tuesday be what you need it to be. I hear it's a little hot outside. We want to make sure that we're doubling up on our vitamin D and our Super 10 and drinking plenty of water. Taking care of yourself, family. When you have dialed into the Team Effort Lifestyle Call, where you will hear things that will move you from facts to faith to action. This is your host, Pastor Denise McDowell, along with my business partner, two-star Pastor Del Wafer. Family, the line is open. Go right ahead. Introduce yourself. Where are you calling in from?
Robert.
Good morning. Good morning. Is that
Hey, Robert. Hey, Robert. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Back from Fayetteville, ready to rock and roll.
Good to hear you, sir. Can't wait to see you Thursday.
All right, can't wait to see you too.
Welcome home, Robert.
Good morning.
Good morning. That be Mama Iffy.
That's me from California.
From California, Mama Iffy's in the house, family. How are you, Mama Iffy?
I'm just feeling good, girl. Feeling good.
That's good. You keep on feeling good, okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
so
much.
Thank you. Good. You're so welcome. Good to hear you this morning. Keep it coming, family. Who else is with us? Go right ahead and introduce yourself. You've dialed into the Team Effort Lifestyle Call. You're going to call. You're going to hear some wonderful testimonies. You're going to hear from some great team leaders. You're going to hear stories from the East Coast to the West Coast. What's happening throughout Team Effort Network? A lot of great, wonderful things. And we'd like to know if you have a story that needs to be told, please reach out to us either through Facebook or send us a text message or reach out to your upline so we can get your story on the call as well. Go right ahead, Sam. We got a couple more minutes. Introduce yourself. Where are you calling in from?
Sandy Goins, Springdale, Maryland, celebrating 31 years of marital bliss today.
Oh, wow. Hats off to you, girl. I'm clapping for you. 31 years. Congratulations, Sandy.
Thank you. Straight up and ready to go.
Happy anniversary to you.
Thank you.
And sprayed up and ready to go, huh?
No question.
Great. Love it. Wow. Well, family, keep it coming. Who else is with us? Go right ahead and introduce yourself. And if we're going to be a little shy this one, don't let this heat get you down, family. Don't let this heat get you down. Know how to stay cool or stay out of it.
The conference is now in presentation mode. Your line is muted.
Like 110 today. Something like that. Ridiculous. I'm doing my best to stay out of that. I'm going to stay in where it's cool. I'm going to get my vitamin D boost. And I said D booster because I'm doubling together. My D and my B. My vitamin D power, I'm going to spray up. I'm going to get my Super 10 to get all those toxins and pollution and bad air out of my system. And my B booster give me the energy to push through this day and that cell energy that will work at a cellular level to check on all those free radicals from my body so I can stay nice and strong and healthy through damaging weather like this. And, of course, we have the Slim by 10 that works hand in hand with our Trim by 10. Family, you should be taking these sprays every day when you're Trim by 10 and you sleep and you're Slim by 10 if you so desire to, and watch the difference that these vitamin sprays are making in your life and so many other people around the globe. I want to thank you all once again for dialing into the Team Effort Lifestyle Call. We're having a lot of wonderful, phenomenal things that are happening throughout the globe. Our leader here, one of our leaders here, Maureen Murphy-Smith, she is in the UK with Dr. Anita Poole. We cannot wait to hear about that union there, that get-together, that fellowship there, and how they shared and talked about the sprays in the UK. And as you know, some of our family members, Paul Jackson and Robert Smith and Jesse Bowden and Cassandra and Beverly, all just got back from Fairville, North Carolina, where they had a big Super 10 over the weekend and a Friday ladies' night out sharing the vitamin sprays. So the word was spread there and here, and the nation's capitals, a lot of wonderful TTPs taking place. Great things happening throughout the world with Team Effort Network. Make sure that you're staying tuned and plugging into the calendar of events on our Team Effort Network.biz website, You can just go to events and check the calendar of events, find out what's happening in your neighborhood, and to make sure you're participating. Or if there's not anything going on in your neighborhood, then you want to be the one to get it started. Well, I'm going to stop here and bring on my business partner to start, Pastor Del Wafer. Are you there this morning, sir?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Well, I can hear you. Are you out there in that heat?
No, not yet. I was out earlier, but I'll try to get back in when the heat starts coming out. But you're right. It's going to be cooker today.
Yeah.
It's going to be 99 degrees. It's going to feel like 115.
No, they said it's supposed to get to 110.
Oh, is it? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be hot. So,
Uh-huh.
But no, I'm staying out of the heat as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have, like you said, we had a North Carolina team is back, and looking forward to hearing, all the great things that happened there. And, actually, I had some people call us from North Carolina afterwards, and I guess they found out late about the meeting. But they're really excited that, we were putting some more energy down in South North Carolina. And so I'm sure that we'll be back there again, taking some more trips. We're looking forward to that. And as you said, there's TTPs that's taking place all over. If you don't have a TTP in your area, you need to begin starting a TTP, because this is how we expose people to the business and expose people to our brand and our products. And this is the number one way, because people need to see. They need to see exactly who we are, what we represent, why our products is so fantastic, and why it's better to take natural product versus pharmaceutical products anytime you possibly can. So that's why we really, really have to get this word out. And through the TTP is one of the main ways that we do it. So you definitely want to be participating in your TTP. As Paul Jackson would always say, you have to, if you what did he say about the TTP, Pastor Denise, when he talks about the need for the TTP, he says, if you bring a guest, we need you in the TTP, and if you don't bring a guest, the TTP needs you. So, we really need to see more and more people being a part of these 10 tasting parties, because that's when you're going to really begin to see more people come into your organization, your business. And the great thing about it is, you don't need to know everything, because there's people who are already into doing the TTPs that will do it for you. All you have to do is fill up the seats, fill up the chairs, and let them do the presentations for you. So it's a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time of the year right now as we go into summer, guys. People are focusing on the health. They're trying to get their bikinis back. They're trying to, do so many different things. And that's why we really want to talk about our Trim by 10 and our Super 10 and our Slim, all of these products that kind of help them feel better.
I think our sprays are just perfect timing. When I think about the level of pollution and what people are facing with now, just in the environment, I really honestly believe that our sprays are a perfect timing. But we have a great leader on with us today. I know Tuesday she bring it to us live, and she brought us some wonderful information last week, how to build your points up in your back office. And as you know, our compensation plan works according to points. And she gave some wonderful information how you can, build up those, what Mel Gill called freedom points, because the points is what gets you your car, or gets you that monthly residual, or get to that lifestyle bonus. So I'm excited to hear what she's going to share with us today. So I want to bring to the call, her title is so long. Guys, that's something with her title. So she has like 5 or 6 different, she's 2-car Vicki Soto, that's one of them. She's executive founding member. She is an executive. Don't 1 star indeed. Let's not forget the 1 star. She is a 1 star. And what else, Pastor Jill? Come on, there's a lot more. There's at least 3 more there. Well, we know as 2-car Vicki Soto. Vicki Soto, I hear that you're there. How are you this morning?
Hi, how are you doing? I'm just laughing because, I got to tell you, my brother, Paul Jackson, he's so funny. He made the longest title for me. But, I love it because I've never had a title before.
Now look what you've been blessed with. Now you've been blessed. Your title so long. See, we really have to write it down before we can even say it.
Well, when I was a kid, one of the things I used to always say is, when I grow up, I'm going to be a star. Well, guess what?
You are a star. You see there? These dreams do become reality.
Well, thank you, Melanie McGill, for making that dream come true.
Wow.
Hey, I'm a star, and I don't even have to worry about the celebrity problem. But I love this company. I really do. I mean, I feel inspired by all the things that are going on right now in the company because, we are still very young, very new, and people are beginning to see what's going on with the sprays and with the trim. And I'm amazed at the people now who are reaching out to me that I have no idea where they're coming from, but I know Mel had said that at some point people would start looking for us, and I see that starting to happen. So I'm pretty inspired by the things that are going on, and the testimonies, of course. Wow. The testimonies, it amazes me every day. When I tell people, I said, you're not going to believe the testimonies we have. And I send them to that I Love 10 site, I started that YouTube channel. Thank you, by the way, my big brother, Kevin Vaughn, for a shout out for the testimonies channel. ILove10.com. I started that because Mel had told us that, testimonies are what's going to, move the product in our company. Obviously, when people hear other people having so much, help from the products and their health is getting better and the excitement, there's one testimony on that channel. You got to listen to it. If you haven't heard it, by Delisa Russell, and it's the one that Denise Moore did on one of the Friday calls. I clipped it. It's only about 4 minutes long, but it is so full of excitement because she is so excited about her results from the sprays that she just lights that channel up. So I just love that. I love that we're able to point to those. We don't have to worry about tools. We have everything we need. We just have to point people to what we already know, right? So, everybody write down ILove10.com. It's a safe site. I call it a safe site because there's no links to anybody anywhere on there, and you can send your customers there. And you can also go there and learn about how the testimonies, learn some of the things about the sprays. Every day people ask me, well, what spray is for this or what spray is for that? And I'm always saying, well, if you don't know, you need to listen to the testimony. Because it's one thing to know that the Super 10, may help somebody with their, their pain or whatever. It's a whole nother thing to hear somebody talking about how it affected their life. So if you don't know what spray, probably helps through this or that, we can't say that anything prevents, cures, or, otherwise, but we can point them to the testimonies. So go to those testimonies and start listening to them. One of the things I wanted to talk about today, because as you might have noticed, Denise, we've had a lot of people come into our business lately. It's crazy. The reason it's so hot outside is because the team is on fire. I'm so proud of this team. She'll tell you, it's like, yesterday, I'm always sending out congratulations and welcome to the team, but yesterday with so many people, I was thinking to myself, okay, what a problem to have, but how exciting that the team is out there, sharing all of the good news. So here we are. And I want to talk to the new people that are on the call, but also the people who have been around for a long time as well, because, it's our job as leaders and people that have been in the business for a while to, of course, train all the new people up on what we know, okay? So we should always be mindful of that. All of the people who are sponsoring other people, be mindful of the fact that new people who come into the business, they have no idea what to do. All they know is, and what's crazy is, we have a lot of people in our business who have never done marketing before. So, they're starting from ground zero. They have no idea what to do, what to say. And we tell them, okay, build your list, pull out your cell phone, put your names down of friends and family, and this and that.
Vicki, I don't want to cut you off, but if you're on speakerphone, there's a lot of distortion in your line. It sounds like it's every time you say something, there's like a little
echo
noise there. Yeah, it's not really an echo, but it's something that's interrupting your call.
Okay, is it better now?
Every time you say something, it's...
Okay, that is really weird. It might be. I'm not on the speaker.
We can still hear you. I just wanted to point it out. I'm not sure what that is. It's like it's coming through a tunnel almost, but...
Oh, it might be because I'm in an empty house. That might be it. Let me think about this.
Okay.
I moved. I don't know if I told y'all this.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Well, I didn't move very far. Actually, I only moved like down the street. But it's in an empty house. So hold on for a second. Let me see if I can, while I'm talking, I'll see if I can also straighten that out. Hopefully I can figure out what's going on.
If anybody else is, let me just say, if anybody else is on the speakerphone, just mute out. It may be causing some feedback there. If anybody else is on the speakerphone, just mute out.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Does it sound better?
Yeah, that's better. That is actually better.
Okay, good. I moved to another room too, so that may be helpful.
Yeah, that is gone.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, so as I was saying, I think that a lot of the new people that come in, they probably need to know what I call the basics for meeting people introducing people to the sprays, because that's usually the first question that they ask. When I talk to people, and like I said, I would advise everybody, when you sponsor somebody, make sure you especially if they're out of state or somewhere, call them on the phone or sit down with them for coffee if they're nearby, and go over some of the things with them, because this is their first time probably doing a business, or maybe, they've done businesses before, but there are no businesses like our business. And I say that over and over. Our business is a whole different business because, well, we already know that our owners are good owners. Our company is awesome. Our products actually work. We're kind of an unusual situation for a lot of people. You don't know how many people come to me and say, well, my last company didn't go well and this and that happened. And, they tell me these sad stories. And I'm like, well, welcome home, because you're going to love it here. Okay. So I sit down with people, and the first thing they tell me is, they have an idea of who they're going to contact and this and that, but they don't really know what to say, and they don't know what to do. And I understand that. So I always tell them, I always try to get a level, their level of comfort, as far as, would they rather talk to somebody? Would they rather text somebody? Would they rather email somebody? I always find out that most people will say to me, I don't feel comfortable really talking to people yet. So I'm always saying, you will after you use the product. Here's the funny thing about the product. Once you start to use the product, and once you start to see how it makes you feel and how it makes other people feel in the company, you will start to feel more comfortable about talking about the product. In fact, you will get bold, because I'm going to tell you, I've noticed that people who have great results or even good results on the sprays, they're much bolder. They will talk to people they've never talked to before, especially if they notice they're suffering, if they have migraines or something like that, then they're going to say something. And that's what I tell them. I said, right now you think your comfort level is low. I mean, you may think that you can only email somebody, but you're going to find out as you use the sprays and as you use the trim that you're going to get more confident, and then you're going to be able to speak to people. But here's the thing. When you start speaking to people, make sure that you're not, over speaking. That expression we have in this industry called water hosing, or it's water hosing, I think, where what happens is somebody says to you, what do you do? And the next thing you do is you end up hosing them down with all this information that they thought, wow, wait a minute, I didn't really want to know all that. I mean, so we have to be very careful that when we first introduce people to the sprays, that instead of water hosing them or getting into this long discussion about what each spray does, that we start pointing them to things. Plus, it's good to always remember HAL. You guys know I created this acronym called HAL. It's my friend that I carry with me. HAL stands for H, have enthusiasm, A, ask questions, and L, listen closely. So remember that. Have enthusiasm, ask questions, listen closely. Because what you're going to find out as you start doing this more and more, it is much easier to ask people to tell you information than for you to tell them information. Because you know a lot more about what's going on than they do. But honestly, you don't want to be put to the test when you're brand new. You know, if somebody starts to try to put you to the test, I strongly advise you to call your upline, leader, or somebody who else is in the business, and have them to talk to them, because tell them, I don't really know any information. Or even better yet, you can say, if you give me your phone number and your email, I will give you some information. I will send you that information, because people ask all kinds of crazy questions about vitamins and supplements. And sometimes you get into these conversations. I know even every once in a while, somebody will ask me something that I'm just like, okay, I never even thought of something like that before. And even I'll hear myself say, well, you know what? Just give me your phone number and your email, and I will get back with you about that, because there's no point in trying to explain something that, you don't know, and they probably don't even know what they're asking, that kind of thing. So ask a lot of questions. Whoever is asking the questions in that transaction is controlling the conversation. And you'll notice that. I always tell people, be like Oprah. Be like Oprah. Interview people, Find out, ask the first question, do you take vitamins and supplements? I have found that question really gets me a lot of information, because either the person's going to tell me no, they don't take vitamins and supplements, or they're going to tell me yes, and they're going to start telling me what they take and why they take it and this and that. But if they tell me no, I think that says more than when they tell me yes, don't you? But my first question after that, of course, is going to be why. Every once in a while, I'll run into somebody who says, when I say, do you take vitamins or supplements, they'll say no. And of course, my first question is going to be, why don't you take vitamins and supplements? And they'll say, well, I don't think they actually work. Now, of course, as soon as they say that, that's like a challenge and a half. I have to fight the urge to water hose them at that point. But what I usually say is, I've got some information that will really surprise you. Give me your phone number and your email, and I'll send it to you. And then what I do is, when they give it to me, because a lot of people are afraid to ask for phone number and email, but let me just say this. The only thing they can say is no. And if they say no, then that means they're just not going to pay any attention to anything you say anyway. So, I would write that off. But if they say yes, well, that's great, because here you have an opportunity to educate somebody on vitamins and supplements that actually work. Okay, you have an opportunity. That's how I look at it. So, and it may help save them in some way. I found out recently. I did this with a friend of mine. He didn't use vitamins and supplements. Now he does, by the way. In fact, he just got 10 vitamins and supplements, and he's a new member of the team, our new business partner in the team, because even though we were having this conversation over and over and over again, where I was saying, I'm going to send you some information, and I would send him some information, he had to hear several testimonies before he would even consider trying the vitamins. Okay, he had a lot of testimonies go to him before he finally said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go to one of your tasting parties, and I'm going to hear these testimonies live. So, I always say that just because somebody says they don't use vitamins and supplements doesn't mean that they won't end up using vitamins and supplements. I feel like it's scandalous if somebody is suffering. And I knew he was having health issues. And as a friend, I wanted him to realize that, maybe some of this stuff, can be resolved. I don't know, but let's try it at least. It can't hurt to try. So I honestly can tell you that he's already having good effects. And that tells me that it was worth my time to keep, sending him testimonies and stuff like that. But the whole point of this is you want to be able to reach out to somebody with the tools that we have and show them what has already happened. Show them these testimonies, show them, what information they may need to know. They'll start asking you for information about, different sprays and start telling you their medical history, but when you first meet them, of course, you're probably not going to be bold enough to ask them about their medical history. Now, the good news is a lot of people who are suffering will tell you what's going on. And of course, every once in a while, it'll be very visible. Like recently, I was telling you guys during the Christmas holidays, well, not recently, but during the Christmas holidays, I ran into a lady in a store who had an oxygen tank with her, or oxygen, whatever that mechanism is that they carry with them. And at first I was thinking, like I said before, the sprays make you bold, don't they? You already know about the testimonies. And Denise, all I could think about was your testimony. And I still remember you saying that you thought that tank would not go well with your high heels.
Oh, ma'am.
And that was what I was thinking. Here's this, lady, and she's, accessorizing. She's at a store. Think about that. I'm at a store with her, and she's got this tank, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, she's right. Denise is so right. This lady needs to know about the sprays. But I was trying to figure out a way, to talk to her without, totally freaking her out. Somebody walks up to you talking about, hey, I can get rid of that tank. Yeah. So anyway, so for what I did was I went up to her and I said, hi, how are you doing? And she was friendly. She said hi. And we got into this little conversation. We were in line. She was having a little conversation about the store and, the crowd and this and that. And then I said to her, I said, I have something that you might be interested in that could help you with your health. And I know at that time that what I said was really bold, but, she, first thing she did was her face just lit up. Okay. It was like, really? And that, by the way, guys, is what is the best thing about this. When you see hope in somebody's eyes, that will make you bolder every time. You're going to run into every once in a while a grouchy person. Okay, that's just the way that goes. That's life. It always happens. But the people who have hope in their eyes, that is so much bigger than anything else you experience. So I'm always happy to tell new people that, hey, you're not going to probably be bold enough yet, but you will be as you hear the testimonies, as you take the product, as you start to see how it's affecting the people in your family. You will start to be bolder and bolder. But I always tell them to start at their comfort level, start at their comfort level while they're trying to learn our system and learn about the company and the products. Start out, what they can do, like both Nikisha and Denise have pointed out, you can text a friend. Text a friend. Say, hey, what you've been doing, find out, how things are going in their life. Yesterday, I got to tell y'all this. And it's going to be hard because it's going to be hard. But I'm going to tell you, I have a friend who I haven't seen in a long time. And I saw a picture of him in Facebook. And it just freaked me out because he looked totally different. Come to find out he has Parkinson's disease. And, those are the moments that really make you bold, okay? I saw him and all I could do, it was just like, I've got to get the sprays to you. I've got to get the sprays to you. I don't know what effect they'll have on you, but I know they can't hurt. It can't hurt. So he was like, oh yeah, he was so open to it, So every once in a while, something like that happens. That's why I say it's good to know the testimonies. It's good to know, when somebody's going through chronic stuff, do not start suggesting one spray to them. Don't do that. tell them that they need a combination of the sprays, that because we don't know what, we're not doctors and nurses, and we can't tell people what they need. So I just say, hey, if you're going through something bad, let's try all 4 of them, okay? Might as well get them in your system and see if that helps first. And then we can talk later about, what might be doing it. But, I couldn't get that in the mail fast enough, So I'm just saying all of this because I want the new people to know that it's not that hard to start a conversation about health. Everybody talks about their health. You don't want to go up to somebody and just, start blurting out all this information about the business and everything else. You want to find out if they're going to really believe in the sprays and if this can really help them in some way. If their answer is yes to I take vitamins or supplements, find out how their vitamins and supplements are working for them now. One of the things that Denise Moore has never told you is I did not know when I sent her the Super 10, I did not know that Denise was already spending lots of money on vitamins and supplements. And that's my fault. Back then, I didn't even know to ask somebody that question. But when she told me that, that's when I first realized, she doesn't know this, but when I first realized that it's good to get background information on people like that, it was because of her. She said, Vicki, I've been spending all this money on vitamins and supplements, and I'm not even sure they're helping. And when she told me how much money, I was thinking, oh, my gosh, how come I've never asked her that before? So always find out as much information as you can through this interviewing process about what they're taking now. They'll start telling you why. If they're taking something, occasionally what happens is when I start off the conversation about the vitamins and supplements, they start talking to me about their other medications, their health, their family. It's really interesting. So, but anyway, I'm up to 11:33, so I'm going to stop right about here.
Well, Vicki, you point out some very, very important points that we all need to be conscious of, and that is using the product yourself, and that's always your first story. I mean, your testimony, your experience on the sprays is your introduction to when you're approaching other people. We had a little team meeting last week at our TTP. We were asking the team members, how can we help you? What do you need to do to share the business more to make your business grow? There was one of the team members, she says, well, I don't really like bothering people. I don't want to, bother people or make them to do anything or ask them to do anything that they don't want to do. And that you can tell she was very uncomfortable just approaching people. She says, but I lost 12 pounds. And it was the way she expressed, I mean, you hear the difference? She's like, she went to like a totally different person. I lost 12 pounds. And I'm like, wow, that's all you need to say is that right there. Because if you just go to someone and with the way she expressed it, with the joy in her face and her hands went up, I'm like, that's it. So you just share what the product is doing for you. You don't have to, try to explain, like Vicki said, try to explain what's in the product, what they do, what they cannot do. Just share what the sprays are doing for you. People want to hear real life stories. They want to hear real life testimonies. And no one can tell your story better than you. So just tell your story. Just tell your story. And that's what works. And then remember, when you're getting results, you continue on the sprays. You don't stop taking them. It's just like you have to eat food every day. You want to take your supplements every day. So don't get your results and then you just stop. No. You found something that works. You found something that's natural, that works along with your body, that's giving your body what it's been lacking, what it's been deficient of for years. And now you finally got given it something that it needs daily. It needs it every day. So you don't start taking them, get your results, and then you stop, because when you stop, your belief level goes down. So now you feel kind of hypocritical trying to tell somebody about vitamin sprays and you're not taking them yourself. So you have that guilt conscious, and that's why you won't approach people. So continue, you're getting good results, so continue to take them. But of course, always follow up with your doctor. You have yearly physicals. Some people go every 6 months. Some people go once a year. Follow up with your doctors, get your lab results, see where you are, and and continue to live a good, strong, healthy life. Vicki, I watch Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is my man, And that's how he really is. And on Family Feud, they had named the top 4 things that help people live longer. I was just like, wow. I mean, I really tuned into that. The top 4 things that help people live longer. So the first one's like, get plenty of rest. You have to rest your body. And the second one was like eating the right type of food. And then it was like drinking water, And guess what the 4th one was? I'll about jump about my feet. The 4th one was taking vitamin supplements.
Yay!
Taking vitamin supplements, the top 4 things that help people live longer. And one of them was taking vitamin supplements. So come on, family. We are in the health and wellness industry. We have something that's 98% effective versus a pill form. It's one of the top 4 things based on a survey that was done that help people live longer. So you want to live longer, you want to live stronger. You continue on the sprays and just share your testimony, nothing else but your story. So, Vicki, thank you for pointing out those things because that's what makes it work.
Yeah, we don't have to re-educate people on vitamin supplements. I don't know why people feel that we have to do that. I mean, most people already know that, and that survey proved that. Most people already know.
Yeah. Well, let's bring on our business partner, Pastor Dale. Pastor Dale, are you there to add anything to the conversation today?
Well, Vicki always gives us some great things to think about, and she's building a tremendous team. And this is one of the things that we like having on the telecall is having, actual leaders who are building organizations who have already did the trial and error, along the way, so we won't have to. I always talk about, you can't get to your earning curve until you get to your learning curve. And you can shorten that learning curve by listening to, the coaches that we have on Monday to Friday and as well as Vicki today. Talk about how you can approach people, the questions they ask, to get, interview them for, as she said, she didn't know Denise Moore was taking supplements. And that would have been a great question to ask her. But thank God, we know now that this is a question that we should be asking people. And people are not afraid to answer that question. I was at a meeting the other day, and I asked how many people, raised your hand, how many people are taking supplements, and half the room hand went up. So, people are already taking supplements. So all we have to do is show them why taking sprays is so much better than taking pills or supplements in the form of a pill. And it's not our own information. It's from the doctor journals of why this is so important. So these are just different tools that we help you use to be able to attract your customers and attract new business builders and help you get through the learning curve quicker so then you can begin earning. Thanks again, Vicki. Always wonderful. Always a good job.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's go out to Atlanta, Georgia with our 1-star. Dr. Kevin Vaughn, are you there, Dr. Vaughn, with our quote for today? Kevin Vaughn, are you there? No, Kevin Vaughn from Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, well, listen to you. Well, who is there? Well, maybe she's not, because she might be out there with Maureen hanging out in the UK. Lord knows what the two of them are going to do in the UK. But let's.
Oh, I wish I was there.
Dr. Nita Poole, are you there? And if she's not there, I know that her and Maureen are probably having a wonderful time in the UK.
I know. That's two beautiful people with lots of energy together. They're having a blast.
I know they are. Well, I'm going to share a quote. This is one that I always love to share. And it's, I will persist until I succeed at my new life's growth. I know that if I ask often enough, it will be given to me. If I seek diligently, I will find it. If I knock with persistence, all doors will be open unto me. So family, persist. And like I said, with the vitamin sprays, you're on the sprays. Continue to take them. Don't take them and then stop, because that's what causes you to hesitate when it comes to sharing with other people about the vitamin sprays. And Vicki, thank you so very much for bringing all these wonderful points to us today. These points do work, family. What we're bringing to the call are just different concerns and questions that we hear that come up throughout the week, and we just want to provide everything that you need to make your business flow easily and to grow. We have the best product in the industry when it comes to health and wealth. wealth. We have the best compensation plan. The compensation plan, as you can see from the testimonies, are really making a difference in people's lives. And, Vicki, right quick, I'm going to ask you, or Pastor Dale, whoever can add up numbers really quick. I was just thinking, even with the compensation plan that we have, it's just so easy to benefit, even if you don't try to do anything. So I was thinking the other day, if I sold just one vitamin spray, just one a day, if I sold just one a day, that's $30, right? I mean, if we're selling them at $30, that's right? So we just made up $30. Mm-hmm. So if I'm selling one spray 7 days a week, what is that? Just one spray each day.
210. Yeah, 210.
$210. I'm just selling one spray for a week, one spray 7 days a week, right? 210. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing that once a week, what is that once a month?
What is that for a whole month?
Yeah, for a whole month. If I'm doing that once a week, then what is that for the whole month?
That'd be $900. Oh, $840.
Yeah. And that's just, you see how easy that, you don't even really have to try to financially gain from the compensation plan. And that's just the retail portion of it. And I know that we can share at least one vitamin spray. And we don't want to, like Vicki, I agree with you sharing the sprays as a package. We have a business partner, JR, he's with the Mercedes-Benz. He sells a complete package. He says whether they ask for them or not, he doesn't sell them separately. He sells a complete package along with the Slim by 10. And they purchase it just like that, the complete package. And like we said, we don't know which ones are working for the end and for the person, but we do know that there's something in each spray that our body needs and benefits from. But I thought about it the other day. Man, I just sold one spray a day. That's like $210 a week. That's about $900 a month. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So just want to share that. Well, Vicki, we're in the call. Do you have anything to share before we close out?
Well, I was going to say, to end what I didn't say, to end what I was training on, the most important thing that you get from what I'm trying to tell you is, first of all, you want to make sharing this business simple, because, if that person that you're talking to decides to be in the business, you want them to know that it's easy. You don't want them to think that it's complicated. So the best thing to do, especially in a situation where you're talking with somebody you barely know or just met, is to get their information and to start sending them some information. I always tell people get their email and their phone number, because if you just get their email address and it goes to spam, well, you'll never know. But what I do is I always ask the person when I send them their first email, my first email to them is, let me know if you received this email. I remind them where they met me, and then I always ask them to let me know if they got the email. That way I can tell. And if they don't answer, then I give them a call, and say, I sent you an email, or I send them a text. Sometimes I just send them a text, and they'll text back to me and say, I don't know, I haven't checked my email or whatever. So it's a great way to build your list, as the expression goes, of prospects, of people who are interested in what you're doing. So that's what I wanted to say.
Well, family, I know one thing. We are growing in numbers each and every day, every hour on the hour. Someone new around the world is joining Team Effort Network. So you all in a good position. As you know, Gail mentioned earlier this year that we're going 50 million this year. It gave us 18 months for that to be done. I think we're already at month 7. We only have 17 more months to do that. And it's happening. As we can see, the West Coast, the Spanish team is really, really blowing it up there in California. Mercedes-Benz, BMWs are being won and awarded every day. Cincinnati, Vicki, I hear Cincinnati is just, knocking it out the ball field. And they just forward.
Yeah, it's that combo of Cincinnati and Atlanta, that group, they're really, every day.
Every day there's someone new on the team. And, of course, Dayton, Ohio, and Louisville, where you are, Vicki, and here on the nation's capital area. So every day on the hour, someone new is joining Team Effort Network. And it's because you've taken the time to share what the Vitamin Sprays are doing for you and listening to someone's story, how you can help them to make a difference. So continue to share. We're on our way to that 50 million. It'll be here before you realize it. Pastor, do you have any closing remarks before we end the call?
No, let's just go get it done, guys. Great call.
Let's get it done, family. Vicki, thank you again, once again. Family, get out there. As we say, get out there, son, and get out there and share the great things you hear on the call today. Don't forget to join Mr. T. Show Me the Money call tonight. That's 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Spanish call will start at 9:10 a.m. Pacific Time this morning. Get out there and share. Get your guest lineup for the TTPs, the schedule for this week. Get them in the house. Make a difference. Share, share, share. Be back with us again tomorrow morning as we continue to go forth. Know that you are loved and you are greatly appreciated. God bless you all and have a prosperous day on purpose.